Oh my word, am I late to this? I am here, I'm a depressed Arsenal fan, and I am here to predict this year's Premier League table. I've done this the last 2, 3 years, I think. Generally, there's always been at least one shocker. I once had Sheffield United in 17th and they finished top 10. There was another bad one last year. I can't remember what it was. I think I had a team high up and they finished in relegation zone. I can't remember, but I had a few shockers, had a few really bad shockers. I've had quite a lot that were close, like one position away. I think last year I got like 6, one position away. And I have been exactly right a few times, but it was mainly Liverpool, Man City. Although I did get Everton exactly right once as well, and another team in the bottom 10. So I've done okay, but also not okay, because there's been some shockers. And it's sort of balanced out, but not really. Not really. So what I've thought is when I really think about things in terms of these predictions, I tend to get it wrong anyway. So I thought, what if I do it differently this year? What if I just draft a list in order of what I think at first? What comes into my head first? Who do I think will win the league? What comes into my head first? Which teams come into my head first for the relegation zone? Who comes into my head first for the top 4 battle? I was just thinking that, and I jotted down a list, and I'm going to keep that list. That's the list I'm going with. My first draft of this Premier League table prediction is what I'm going with. No overthinking, no nothing, just the list that I thought of right now. I have reasons, but I didn't think it out that much. I literally spent 10 minutes writing down the list, and this is my first draft, and I'm going to stick with it. So if it's shocking, it's shocking. Even if I think about it, it's still shocking anyway. So I might as well take the risk. In the relegation zone, in 20th place, I have Norwich. Now, I could be wrong this time, but they are a team that tends to go up and down quite often. Sometimes they stay for a bit, then go back down. Not always straight away, but I do feel they'll go back down again. Again, they could be wrong, and they're more than free to prove me wrong. But based on what I've seen of them, whenever they've come up, I just don't see them staying here very long. If they don't get on this year, it'll be next year. Once again, could be wrong, but Norwich in 20th, I am fairly confident that they will go back down. In 19th place, I have Burnley. Now, Burnley have done very well in the Premier League. Ever since they came up, they've done well for themselves. They've not just stayed in the league, but they've done better as well, got to new heights. They even reached Europe at one point. So, great for them. They've had a great time in the Premier League, and fair play to them. Fair play. Don't play the most attractive football, but it gets results, and it's kept them in the league. But I feel that this season, things are not going to go their way. I think this season is the season that they actually go down. Again, I could be wrong. They're a lot more likely to prove me wrong than Norwich are, and I think they definitely could stay up and are capable of staying up. But honestly, this year might be the year that time runs out for them. And I think last season was a bit of a sign as well, because they were just not as good. They didn't seem to be as good as they were in previous seasons. So they did pick it up at some points. But still, if I was a Burnley fan, I'd be a bit worried. But maybe I am misguided. But I honestly do have a bad feeling about Burnley that they will go down. Not that I like them very much anyway. I don't like playing them. We'll just leave it at that. In 18th place, I have Brighton. I have had them going down the last 2 seasons. And I've got them going down again this season. And it's going to come back to bite me in the arse. Trust me, I do not hate them. I do not dislike them. There is no animosity, if that's even the word, between me in terms of what I think of Brighton. I've never disliked them, There may have been some games where we played against them that I didn't like, but I've never disliked Brighton as a team. So it's not like I'm putting them down there because because I feel a certain way about them. I'm just never confident about them going into the season. But they always prove me wrong, every single time. But this season, a bit like Burnley, this season, I think might be the season that they actually go down. Once again, I could be wrong. I'm not trying to save face here, but, crazy things can happen. Here's the thing about the Premier League, innit? You never know. There's always teams that shock you. Some teams do worse than they should. Some teams do better than you expect. There's always going to be a couple surprises here and there, but for me, Brighton might go down this year. We'll see, but I've got a feeling about it. In 17th place, Crystal Palace. A little low. They're experimenting a bit with Patrick Vieira, an Arsenal legend, of course, but I don't think he's proven himself on management level, at least not yet anyway. Whether he can become a great manager, I don't know. So far, I've not been that impressed, to be honest with you. Certainly a much better player. So I feel like Crystal Palace are taking a huge risk, and I don't think it will pay off. And I don't want to see it fail either, because I like Patrick Vieira and I don't mind Crystal Palace. So I would love to see it work, but honestly, I am not sure it will. So, despite what I've said, I've put them in 17th, staying in the league, but only just surviving the drop. We'll see, but I do hope they do better than I think they will. But I got a bad feeling that Vieira will do badly and he'll be gone by mid-season, and then it's going to cause all sorts of trouble. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe Crystal Palace will be the surprise team of the season. In 16th place, I have Southampton. They are normally quite up and down. They're normally higher than 16th. But this season, I feel they'll struggle a bit more, like they have done, to be fair, last year in parts of the season. I think they'll finish lower down in 16th, as I said. I don't think they'll go down. Maybe they'll be in relegation danger at some point in the season. But I think at the end of the day, they will stay up. They just won't be that high in the table. So I put them in 16th place. In 15th place, I have Watford, who have come back up to the Premier League. I think they'll stay in the Premier League this season, I think. To be fair, they were here for quite a few years previously. They've come straight back up, and I don't think they'll make the same mistakes again. I think this time round they will stay in the league, and I think they will be fine. In 14th place, I have Newcastle. I don't see them going anywhere, and I'm pretty sure this is lower than last season. But yeah, Newcastle, I think, will have a similar season to the last few years. They'll have bad periods, they'll manage to recover, and they'll just end up mid-table somewhere. Somewhere in the bottom half of the table, but not in relegation danger. Somewhere around there. They will be at one point in the season, then they'll just get a few wins and they'll be fine. But once again, I just don't think they will get anywhere this season. They won't go down, they're not going to progress, they're just going to be in the same sort of situation they've been in the past few years. That's what I feel. In 13th place, I have Aston Villa. I actually forgot them for a second, I filled out 19 teams just like, wait, who am I missing? Oh, Aston Villa. Let me remap the whole ladder. Aston Villa. They've lost Grealish, of course, but I still think, they got a good squad that can definitely do well. I think losing Jack will be a setback, but also it's 100 million, so they can use that to reinvest and get what they need. They've brought some good players in anyway, and I think they will do quite well, but I also think teams above them will do a bit better. That's why I've put them 13th, which is probably a bit harsh and a bit low, but losing Jack, I think, is a bit of a blow, even though they still got a good squad. I feel like it will affect them a bit, because he was a key player for them, and I think it'll be different, for sure, it'll be different, but I also feel that they could definitely do well. I don't know. I feel like they could be anywhere between like 8th and 13th. But I put them in 13th because I just see them going downwards a bit, but not too far down. We'll see. In 12th place, I have Leeds. Good season, I reckon. If they finish 12th. Lower than last year, but I think they'll be fine. They'll be good, just a little bit worse than last year, but still solid. They'll hit that 40-point mark quite early, and they'll push on, get a nice mid-table finish. I don't think they'll progress any further, although they could. We'll see. We'll see what they do. In 11th place, I got Wolves. They've come up to the Premier League. They've done really well, but they are slipping a bit. They're going further down the table a little bit. But I do think Wolves will stay around mid-table, just like Leeds. And I think they'll finish 11th. In 10th place, I predict that Brentford will have a good season. Yes, I do. I think, well, I mean, maybe not always, but it tends to be a team from the Championship that comes up and does incredible in their first season. They come in with a bang. Like Wolves, or Sheffield United, or Leeds last year. I think Brentford will be another one of those teams that comes in and does surprisingly well. Maybe not surprising to them, but I think it would be a bit of a surprise if they finish top 10 straight away. But I do think it's possible, and I'm predicting it to happen. This is a risk, but a risk that I'm willing to take. In ninth place, we have Everton. Obviously had a managerial change, things are different. I thought they were on the up last year especially, and if they had kept Ancelotti and improved their squad, I definitely would have put them quite a bit higher than ninth. But considering the changes that have happened, I think they will be a bit worse off, but still a decent team, and I think they'll do okay. I think they'll want to do better than ninth, but I think they'll finish around ninth. They'll finish in the lower places of the top 10, I feel. So ninth is where I put them. In eighth place, I have Leicester. They'll have a good season, but I predict they'll finish eighth this season. I could be wrong. Definitely, they could finish higher, but they're 100% going to be in the top 10 and possibly top 6. I don't think they'll be in the top 4. But for now, I've got them eighth, and I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm willing to take the risk. In seventh place, West Ham United. West Ham had a great season last year, and I predict that they will not be stopping this season. They'll push on, they'll continue, and I think they'll get another decent European place finish and another good season for them, I reckon. I reckon it's very much possible that they'll have just as good, if not a better season than last year. I could be wrong, but I can see it happening. I think they did so well last year, and I think they'll have the confidence from that to push on, because before last season, they weren't having the best time. You know, they had some great moments, sure, as a club, but they weren't really progressing that far. But last season, my word, they really smashed it out of the park. They really, they banged it, if that's a term I should use. They were brilliant. So I reckon they will gain momentum and, not momentum, I guess, confidence. They'll be a lot more confident than they usually are going into a season. After what they did last season, they know what they can do, they know what they can achieve. So I think this season they can really push on and really, you know, do even better. So yeah, we'll see. I could be wrong, but we'll see. In sixth place, I've got Arsenal. Maybe a bit biased because I'm not confident in my team. We've made some signings, and yeah, a couple of them are good, sure, but it's not enough. I heard obviously we've been linked with Maddison, Martinez, whatever. I haven't seen them signed, so, you know, I'm never optimistic about Arsenal, you know. I hear we're linked with a player. I'm just like, yeah, okay. Unless we actually sign him, like, properly, I'm never excited, because you never know with this damn club. But we do need a player like Maddison, or, you know, another defender. We need definitely the striker as well. So unless we get those players that we need, I don't see us pushing on into the top 4. It's so annoying how far we've fallen. Like between 2007 and 2017, it was all about being 3 players off the title. 3 players, all we need is 2 or 3 players, and we can not title challenge, or we can be a threat in Europe. That's what the story was in those years. Like, we're 2 or 3 players away from achieving something special. This time, it's not even that. This time, we're a whole team away from doing that. This time, we're 2 or 3 players away from challenging for top 4. It's just depressing. And I put us 6th, which, to be honest, is being nice. And I hope we finish higher than that. But the reality is, 6th will be the best that we'll get. With the squad that we got, we're not finishing higher than 6th. I just don't think we'll be anywhere near the top 4 either. I probably should have put us lower down, to be honest, considering my thoughts. But I got a feeling that we won't do as bad as 8th again. I feel like we'll be 7th or 6th. I put us 6th. It's a risk, but I'll take it. we need more additions if we want to finish higher than we have done the last 2 seasons. We need more. We need more to really push on. Because right now, what we got, it's not good enough for top 4. So I guess we'll see, but we need more. We need more. All right, the top 5, I'm not going to talk too much about. I'm just fairly confident that this will happen. I could be wrong. In 5th place, I have Spurs. I don't think they'll make top 4 this season again, but I do think they'll be a bit closer. I don't know what's happening in the Kane situation, to be honest, but regardless, I'm still going to put them 5th. They'll be better than us, again, unfortunately, but I just don't think they'll be in the top 4 again, at least not this year. Top 4 was pretty simple for me. Liverpool in 4th. Liverpool, I think, will be more consistent than last year, and they'll finish top 4 a bit more comfortably than they have done. But I also don't think they'll be title challenging again this season. I can imagine them having another season where it's just underwhelming and just not as good like it was last year. Maybe not as bad as last year, but I do think they won't have, a great campaign. They just have an okay campaign. And I think in terms of what they can win, probably a knockout competition, like an FA Cup or something, if they care enough to win that. But they might have a good Champions League run, but in terms of the Premier League, I think they'll finish 4th, and I don't think they'll be anywhere near the title winners this season. In 3rd place, I got Chelsea. Whether they can mount a title challenge, I'm not sure at the moment, but I do think they'll be comfortably in the top 4. They won't be just finishing in the top 4 this time. They'll be comfortably in the top 4. I am very sure of it. In 2nd place, I have Man United. Can they challenge for the title? Again, I'm not sure. We'll see. They're definitely going in the right direction. They're making big signings. They're making the right signings. So we'll see the results on the pitch when the season starts. And in 1st place, as you might have expected, Manchester City. I just don't think anyone's stopping them this season. I could be wrong. They do have off seasons. But with the way they've been playing, like even last year, they had a bad start. Terrible start, actually. And they still managed to run away with it in the end anyway. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a team. It's going to take a real proper team to take them down. And Liverpool are just not at the level that they were. Like, to be fair, like they hit 98 points, won the Champions League. They didn't win the league that year, but it's still a great points tally. Then they won the league the season after with 99. That level, to hit that level again, was always going to be tough for Liverpool. So, like, I don't think they'll hit it again. At least not with the set of players they got now. I think they definitely need improvements. So it's on Chelsea and Man United, I think. And I think Man United are a bit closer, but I'm not sure they're close enough. But I think City will be comfortably winning the league. I do hope I'm wrong. I want to see a more competitive title race. But we'll see. We shall see. Anyway, those are my predictions. My reasonings have not always been great. Sometimes a bit repetitive, but this is what I think will happen. These are my original thoughts. I'm pretty sure I've thought about it a bit more in the video than actually doing the list. But these are my predictions. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I am here for the banter at the end of the season. I was going to do forfeits, but last year I did forfeits and no one commented what forfeits to do. I literally said there's like 15 forfeits to do. You can comment. Feel free to comment. One person said sing in the balcony, and that was it. I was just like, yeah, it's not worth the video then. So, I'm not going to do forfeits. So, that's it from me today. Let me know your Premier League predictions down below. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.